Hey guys, how are you? Well, this is probably overdue intro for those who haven't met me yet, who don't know who I am. So I'm Renata, okay, and I'm an intuitive growth coach. I don't like putting labels on me or anyone else because sometimes it's kind of hard to describe with one or two or three words what you do, right? Because even intuitive growth coach, it's not really clear for everyone, right? But I work with entrepreneurs and business owners, high achievers actually, and help them identify and rewrite their destructive beliefs. And this is actually what actually invisibly drives us through life, right? And that's important because then they can tap into their full potential and finally take aligned actions and produce the result that they desire, right? So that's what I do in short version, okay? So what I've been up to this week is, thank you, Vanessa, for actually allowing all this introduction and sharing. And I've been yesterday I just had this beautiful interview. And if you're jumping on, just please say hi, okay? So I had this interview with United Intentions Conscious Radio Show, and we touched a few topics, and it was a huge honor to be interviewed next to, well, and kind of share the stage with Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, St. Teal Swan, the big and really nice people, right? So we touched many subjects. We talked about mind, beliefs, conscious, subconscious mind, about taking actions and what's causing us to procrastinate and just be stuck, right? So we touched many topics. If you want to watch and listen, you can go to my profile or jump on my Facebook page. It's the same as my name, Renata Mazuz, so if you're curious, or just BML, send your link. Anyways, going back to the topic that I posted also about the beliefs, right? Why they're so important. Well, because they drive us. They kind of run on autopilot in all of us. So let's say when you're driving, even drove this morning. Well, it's kind of lunch now where I am. But whenever you get into the car, you don't really think you need to put the key, right? How you need to turn it, how you need to kind of turn on the engine and start like pressing accelerator or just stopping the car. It runs on autopilot because that's what is set and what the programs run in our subconscious mind. They're invisible, but they run actually 95% of our lives. So they are important because that's what dictates actually what we do, how we do things, what we think, how we feel, and what we achieve or not achieve. So there are three ways actually that we create beliefs. First is through authority. So whether it was parents that influenced you or created the beliefs. Let's say, how do you know that red is red? Why it's not blue or any other word, right? Because someone taught you that. Through teachers, through some authority in your environment, okay? So that's one way. Another way is through repetition. If someone's repeating you constantly, you're this or that, or this is the only way to do things. If you're chanting, say hi, please join me. So if that's how we create it. So if someone kept telling you you're weak or you're strong or you're stupid all the time, guess what? In a while, and after some repetition, you're going to believe all that you're all those things. And that's going to create your belief, right? And the third way is just simply your experience. Let's say what's the example I can think of? Okay, if you touched a stove for the first time that was hot, or a candle for that matter, and you didn't know it was hot, right? So the moment it touched, you felt pain. So strong emotion and experience created the belief that every time you get close to the stove or touch a candlelight that is hot, it's going to cause you pain, right? So that's how beliefs created in a different way, right? Unless you reprogram that belief and install a new one somehow, right? So what happens is, who am I to talk about those beliefs? And what gives me authority on that? Well, To be honest with you, I grew up in a very interesting environment. I grew up in environment where I was put in the box, where I was not allowed to uh, express myself, express my emotions, my thoughts. Just basically put in a box and told to behave in a certain way and not another way. And in addition to that, I've experienced like major narcissism and manipulation, more like emotional manipulation in my early years. So that gives you some picture, right? And later on in my life, I kind of was living in the emotional and some physical abuse. So if you can imagine like an onion and that kind of like your core, who you are, and all those beliefs that it's like layers on you, I've got pretty major interesting beliefs going on because I never thought I was good enough, pretty enough, smart enough. I was convinced that I cannot achieve big things in my life. So interesting, right? It's like all those crappy beliefs are running in the background and everything. Every time I try to do something and try achieve or set goals, they kind of backfired because my inner voice was telling me I'm not good enough. So, I mean, as hard as I worked, it didn't go anywhere. And it's basically, at some point in my life, it almost cost me life because I couldn't handle it anymore, because I couldn't understand what's going on and what's wrong with me. Okay, so you get the picture, right? So I kind of searched most of my life for the answers. For many, many years, I worked with coaches. I read books, watched videos, I took courses, programs, I did healing, I did energy work done on me. I mean, you name it, but nothing really helped. It seemed like I'm tiny step moving forward, but not really. So I kind of worked my ass off looking for what's wrong with me. And eventually the beliefs came up, and I don't remember the specific point how I got to the belief like that this is my issue, that it's me, and actually what's been programmed in me, right? So I got into the spiritual side then. I tried meditations, I tried affirmations, I tried simply making myself do things. And the mistake that I made was that I was talking to the wrong part of the mind. That's the conscious mind, because I was using the willpower, I was using the goal setting, instead of I'm looking like what's really running and the patterns that run in my mind and my behaviors, my emotions, right? Because like I mentioned before, we run on autopilot most of the time. So nothing really happened until someday it clicked and I tried a new process, just simply to rewrite the beliefs. And to do that at the subconscious level where that autopilot program actually runs, right? And there is no hypnosis, don't take me wrong. I don't do hypnosis, okay? But that process kind of made shifts really fast. And I did the beta program on that, and it gave pretty good results. I had this lady who was hesitant and insecure and not good enough, deserving, or not worthy feeling for like over 30 years. And in just several days, she was actually a week, I'm sorry, I don't want to lie. It was a week after our session, and she actually was able to not only go out of her comfort zone, but to create a program and actually sign up for new clients. Amazing, right? With all that, the shifting beliefs actually gave a side effect of the physical body healing. So there was another lady who we worked with, and just in a couple of days, like along with the beliefs that we worked on, her body, the pain that she was feeling, like I think it was for 3 years, it actually dramatically diminished. How do you explain that? Well, body and mind work? I say yes, though it's not as cliche as it sounds. I mean, that's what works, right? So how can you rewrite the beliefs or start moving forward and taking control of what's going on there? Well, first of all, you cannot achieve anything, or you cannot change anything that you're not aware of. So you gotta know what's going on. So my first step for you would be start with awareness. Okay, so you gotta become consciously aware of what's really going on in your mind. Okay, what thoughts you're thinking, what thought and emotional patterns you have, what behavior patterns you have. Let's say, what events cause you mostly to react or respond? What thoughts are the most common based on what's going on in your life? What the frequency is, like what the most recurring events that cause all those patterns to appear. Just observe yourself, just watch. Make like a week or two and just observe yourself, okay? Step number 2 would be you gotta identify beliefs behind all those patterns. So whenever you see something's going on, ask yourself, what do you need to believe? If it's easier for you, some feel it's easier, what a person needs to believe in order to behave or think this way about themselves. When people kind of detach themselves, it's easier for them to find a belief behind their actions or behind their thought patterns or emotional patterns, right? So try identifying what beliefs are behind all that, okay? And only then you can rewrite that. But when you try to shift those beliefs, make sure you do that at the subconscious level, because just by telling yourself and looking in the mirror, I'm beautiful, I'm enough, I'm loving, I'm lovable, all that fun stuff, it's good. And after probably several thousand times you repeat, you're probably gonna have some kind of impact or difference. But if you go directly into the subconscious mind, into that autopilot running in you, you can actually shift the belief like in a matter of minutes. And believe me, because I've had people shifting emotionally and mentally in minutes, in hours. For some, it took that short amount. For others, it took like a couple of days or a couple of weeks. It depends how open you are and what's going on with you, okay? Make sense? Okay, so after you rewrite that belief, you gotta right away take action. So that's number 5, okay? And action is necessary in order to strengthen that belief, because it has to be engraved in your subconscious, in that autopilot, again, running in you, okay? So engrave it. So make sure, let's say you have certain belief, right? What can you do to prove that belief is true? That is your new truth, okay? Just think of different ways. Even if it's a small step, it will tell your subconscious mind, okay, that this is your new truth, and it will not ever go back to the old one. Make sense? So try this process and see how that goes for you, because I want to hear from you, okay? And, well, what about the bonus step, okay? How to quickly change your emotions. That's really fun, okay? Because that's super easy and people don't even think about it. Again, if you're coming, join us, just say hi, okay? Well, if you're feeling bad at the moment and you don't want to feel all those emotions, right? There's some things happen, you're frustrated, mad, whatever. There is one method out of different tools that you can use to shift it automatically, like in seconds, okay? So, want to try it? Okay, let's do this. I want you to think of something that was bad, really bad in your past. That's like you felt miserable, something didn't go well or whatever, that you felt really bad. And I want you to kind of sink into that feeling. And I want you to sit like you were sitting. I want you to feel like you were feeling. Like, let your body guide you. Just relax and let it go. Let it go. Just go with that feeling, okay? If you're doing this, you're probably going to notice that your shoulder's going to go down. You're going to kind of lean in. It's kind of like you're hiding, right? See how your body is? Okay. Now I want you to do something else. I want you to remember something from your past that you were really successful at, that you nailed it, that you were celebrating, you were going for it, and you just did it, okay? And I want you to, again, let your body guide you. Let's just sink into that feeling and stand or sit as you were doing that at the time and just imagine yourself in that victory, okay? I want you to sink into that one for a second, okay? See how the body changes, how the posture changes. It's probably your head is up, your shoulders is back, you're just standing or sitting straight, and you're just like, hey, I did it, right? So what I want you to do now is I want you to hold that position of victory, that success position, okay? And I want you to try feeling bad. Bring up that other situation that we first tried, okay? You're doing that with me? Okay, so what you're probably going to notice, you cannot feel bad when you're holding your posture in that success mode. You just can't. It's physically impossible. So every time you feel bad, every time you're in some crappy mood, okay, and you want to change it, all you need to do is remember that success pose, that success mode. All you need to do is just shift your body, and your emotional state will automatically follow that. Try that. You don't believe me? Try that. I challenge you on this, okay? It's been great chatting with you, and I would love to hear your feedback. Just say hi if you're jumping on, and I'll talk to you later. I'm back in the group, okay? Have a good weekend.